Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Justin. I'm here with Fernando. This is the week of August 15th edition of Market Mondays. Even though it is Tuesday, we are recording this on a Tuesday, a little late this week, but we're here and we have a lot to talk about today. Hey, Fernando, how are you doing?
Perfect. Thank you for the introduction. I'm happy to be here as always. Today, I want to start by talking a little bit about the price movement of Bitcoin. I'm going to be using TradingView to track the movement of Bitcoin. As you can see, I'm already here, and I'm going to go to the Bitcoin trading chart. Perfect. So yeah, as you can see right now, the price of Bitcoin is moving down from where it was last week. We peaked at 25K. If I zoom in here a little bit, we're gonna see that, yeah, we peaked at $25,300. And I believe that right now we're gonna start seeing a movement down. I think that Bitcoin is gonna head to lower lows, maybe not this week, but in the next couple of weeks. And I'm going to be doing a little technical analysis right now to explain why I feel that way. So let me start by drawing some lines here. Okay. Okay, so this pretty much is called an ascending channel pattern. And it pretty much indicates where it is most likely that the price of an asset is going to hit. So if I would have drawn this line on June, at the beginning of June, you would have seen that, you know, the line would have touched the resistance and the support about 4 times. And if you're a scalper or a day trader, you would have made some good profits. It's amazing how accurate these type of patterns are. And yeah, I mean, you can see that the price of Bitcoin was constantly going up and down, up and down. And here, the force behind the pattern kind of slowed down. Here, the pattern broke. So this is a bearish indicator. If we would have been bullish, we have a support here at 26,650,000. Let me draw a line. Okay, to be bullish, the trend, the pattern would have had to touch here, 26K, and kept going up. So the pattern slowed down here, and it's amazing how technical analysis is such a clear indicator of what's going on. So do you see this line here? That's like the price movement of Bitcoin going all the way down. Do you see this candle, the red one?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's amazing because this is an indicator of a support level. So I'm going to draw the line here. And I'm going to place it all the way here. And do you see how this line touched the highest point of this bear rally?
Yep.
It barely touched it. So if you're a trader and if you would have perceived this, you could have placed a short. And when the price touched this level, you could have placed a short with 100x leverage. And I'm pretty sure it's still gonna go down. I think this is just the beginning. But if you place a short here by using this as an indicator and used 100x leverage, you would have made a lot of money right now. Or you could have just left the position open and wait for the price of Bitcoin to keep going down, and you would have made a fortune. So that's why it's always very important to do technical analysis. I mean, at the beginning, it's hard for a beginner. It's hard To be honest, it took me like 3 years to understand technical analysis. But the thing is that I didn't have a teacher. I learned everything by myself. So if you have me as a teacher, it's gonna be easier for everyone. And yeah, so you can see here that the trend is starting to go down. The price of Bitcoin right now, it's at 23,900. We can already see that's going down. So now I want to use some indicators to explain a little bit more why I know that the price of Bitcoin is going down. So I'm going to use the heat map volume indicator. I'm going to use the QQE mod, and I'm going to use the relative strength index. So pretty much the heat mod, the heat volume indicator let us know which way the trend is going. So if the volume of an asset reaches the yellow level, it means that there's enough movement to change the direction of the market. If it reaches the orange level, is that there's a lot of movement, and that it is very likely that the trend of the market is going to move. If we reach red level, it pretty much means that this is going to move the market most definitely. So we can see that from a while ago, the trend is negative. And we know that it's negative because this candle is red. But if we combine this indicator with this indicator, instead of having to look deeply and see which direction it's going, you can just look here, and it lets you know which way the market is moving. So red, it means that it's going on the the negative way, and blue, it means that it's going up. So we can see that the trend, that there's enough volume here to make the trend negative. So we know that it's going negative. Here, we know that it's going negative. Negative, still red, 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 red. It's been red since November of last year. So I mean, if you know how to use these indicators, you would have known how to get out of the market at the right time. And let's, for example, here, we can see that in August of 2021, sorry, let me close this. We had an indicator that the trend of the market was going up. So let me zoom in. All these lines were negative. They were in red. But here, we see that there was enough volume to move the market, and that the trend was positive because it was on blue. So if you would have paid attention to this movement, you would have most likely bought Bitcoin at 35K. And then if we move around here, we see here this market movement indicator at negative at 52K. So if you would have known how to use these indicators, I mean, if you bought one Bitcoin, you would have made like 30K. And that's just if you had one Bitcoin. If you had like 10 Bitcoins, you would have made like $300,000. So sometimes it's that easy. You just have to know how to use these indicators. But I don't know if these indicators are free. I personally have an account with TradingView, and I paid monthly to have all the indicators. And yeah, I mean, if you know how to use these indicators, you can do a lot of money. So like I was telling you here, we saw the indicator that the price was going up. And if you would have used this, you would have made a lot of money. And well, it's not just about using these two indicators. This indicator is also an awesome indicator that can help you make money even when the trend is negative. So for example, here, we know that since November, the trend was negative. But for example, here, on June, we had a massive sell-off. And, since the trend is negative, you would have said, okay, I don't want to buy here because the trend is negative. However, if you know how to use the RSI pretty much indicates when an asset is oversold or overbought. So if it's below 30%, it means that it's oversold. If it's over 70%, it means that it's overbought. So even at the bear market, you can make profits if you know how to use these three indicators. So here, when there was a massive sell-off on June, we can see that the RSI was indicating that Bitcoin was oversold. So if you would have bought here and then take a look at what the market is doing, we can see that the RSI here is at 60%, almost at 70%, which would mean that it's oversold. I don't think we're going to reach 70% this time because the market, the trend is already taking a reversal. But I mean, if you bought here and if you sold here, you would have made like, you know, like per Bitcoin, you would have made like a 50% gain. And you can see this here as well. There was a negative sell-off here in January, and then we hit overbought on March, and we could have sold here. And then you can see, you know, that the chart is self-explanatory. So we can see that now the trend is going down. So I mean, if you're not a trader, if you're just an investor, I mean, I guess this doesn't really matter to you because you're just holding. But if you're a swing trader and you're making to do gains to buy high and I'm sorry, to buy low and sell high, and you know, to double your position on Bitcoin or whatever cryptocurrency, these indicators are amazing. And you don't have to be on the chart all the time. You just have to look for the indicators that the trend is moving on the opposite direction, and vice versa. So this is amazing for you to increase your position. And that's pretty much all I wanted to show you guys about how these indicators are amazing to know, you know, what to do next. Like I said, if you're an investor, you're fine. If you're a trader, this is gonna help you a lot. I'm gonna delete this. Give me a second. Okay, I'm gonna close this.
You know, even the RSI indicator, if you want a really simple strategy, I know lots, and it works. I mean,
It works. It works, but it works even better if you use more indicators at the same time, because sometimes there's exceptions.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
Like right now we have the exception that the Bitcoin bear market is happening at the same time as a recession. So it's not going to be so easy to understand what's going to happen. So you're going to use more indicators. And long term, my prediction for where Bitcoin is going, I feel like first we're going to touch this level. I'm sorry, let me click this again. We're going to touch this level. Just a moment. Okay, first we're going to touch this level, which is going to touch a previous level that we touched, which is 18K. Then I believe we're going to touch this level, which is 16K. And if the support here doesn't hold, which I'm very positive that it's not going to hold, we're going to go to this next level, which is between 11 and 12K. And this is my prediction. I feel like first, we're gradually going to get here. We're going to stay here for maybe a month or two. And maybe by October, November, we're going to reach 16K. And we're going to stay there for a little bit. And then the bull market's going to continue. So in my personal opinion, and according to what the chart is telling me, we still have like 3 or 4 bad months. I feel like quarter 4 of this year is going to be bearish, super bearish. And then quarter 1 of maybe even a little bit before, maybe November, December, the sentiment of the market is going to turn bullish. So that's my analysis for the price movement of the market right now. I don't know if you have any comments.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And this is why technical analysis is so important, and we were just talking about last week about how so many people have gotten away from doing technical analysis, or so many people don't actually even know how to do technical analysis or do any research around technical analysis. And what happens is we see a lot of speculation. We see a lot of people jumping in and out of markets, not knowing what they're doing, listening to people on Twitter, etc. And that's when you can find yourself holding the bag.
Yeah,
And so, it's really important to take a look at these things if you're in the markets. And if, you're just someone who's just, hodling, then that's totally fine too. That's a great strategy as well.
absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, some people are investors, some people are traders, but if you're already here, I mean, the least you could do is try to understand what you're doing, right? It's like going to, I don't know, like traveling to Europe, going to France. And if you're gonna live in France, at least you're gonna try to learn the basics of French, right? So you can have
Yep.
the best time. So it's the same thing here. I mean, if you're already here, why not try to learn a little bit of what's happening? So you're not just lucky. I mean, you're actually making stuff happen because you know what you're doing. And the problem is that sometimes it's very hard to know who to listen, because some people claim to be experts and they're on YouTube and TikTok and Twitter saying I'm an expert, and it turns out they're not. So I had a hard time learning technical analysis because at the beginning I didn't know who to listen. But it helped me out a lot being on Twitter, because I followed a lot of people, and then everyone's saying one thing and another thing, and eventually I had my winners. I followed like 100 people, and of those 100 people, 5 guys were usually right all the time. And after I figured out who were the right guys, I deleted all the guys that were always wrong, and I started listening to the guys that were always right. And that's how I learned my technical analysis. And now
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
yeah, that's the way I made it, because there was a lot of confusion in the beginning. And now that I have this knowledge, I hope that little by little, as I improve, that I can share it not only with you, but with our viewers and to everyone who's interested in learning about trading.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, numbers don't lie. That's the 100% truth
Yeah,
about that. So, well, it's great. I mean, it looks like we have some continued stability with Meta One. You don't have to worry about being bearish in the Meta One if you're a Meta One
yeah,
holder. Looks like we're up a little bit today, 377.11, which is awesome.
yeah. So Meta One
What?
super stable.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, it seems like there's a time lag between our connection, and sometimes I might be saying something, and what we're saying gets crossed over. But yeah, I was just going to say what you just said, that you don't have to worry about Meta One because it's super stable, and even though Bitcoin is going up and down, Meta One is where it has to be.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah, and we were talking about a bullish, a bearish run, kind of at the beginning of this recession last week, and that's what it seems to have been. And it looks like you're seeing the trend go in the opposite direction. I'm seeing that too, and there's a lot of interesting things that are going on. I know that last week we talked about the consumer price index and sort of what the numbers were like. Saw that was unchanged. You have any comments about that this week?
No, not until next month. However, the CPI went down a little bit, and a lot of people were celebrating about it, and we could see it on the market that stocks started moving a little bit up, as well as Bitcoin. But it's nothing to celebrate. I mean, an 8.5, it's still super bad, and I feel like all of this was just like a reverse psychology manipulation to make you feel bullish and put money in. And in the next few weeks the market's going to drop, and just steal your hard-earned cash. So in my perspective, I'm still super bearish. There's really nothing to be positive right now on the short term. On the long term, we know crypto's here to stay. We know Bitcoin is going to save the world. It's gonna turn us into, a better world, a better community, a better everything. But on the long term, right now, super bearish.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I would agree. Outside of meta, I think I would be on the same page. There's just too much uncertainty. And it's a place, it's the time and place, I think, to have your money in a safe haven and to sort of just sit it out.
Sorry, there was a massive interference. All I heard that you wanted me to talk about Tornado Cash, and that's what I'm gonna do now.
Yeah.
So pretty much Tornado Cash. This is the story of the year. This is super interesting. So Tornado Cash is a protocol on the Ethereum blockchain that makes your transactions private. So I mean, I know it is one of the main features of blockchain to make all transactions public, but at the end of the day, I feel like it is also something negative at an individual level. So yes, we want institutions, private companies, the government, we want the places where there's space for corruption to use a public blockchain so that they no longer steal money and to eradicate corruption, right? But on an individual level, it is very dangerous that your wallet and your transactions are not private. Why? Let me give you an example. So let's say that I have 100 Bitcoin in my wallet and I want to buy a present for my kid, my hypothetical kid, because I don't have one. And I go to Amazon or eBay or whatever, I pay with Bitcoin and I buy, a Pikachu toy or whatever. And this guy now has my name, my address, he has all the information about me. And the moment I send him Bitcoin from my wallet, just by looking what wallet sent the Bitcoin from, you can look up my wallet and see all my holdings. So I don't know who this guy is. I mean, I know he has a store online and he's selling, Pikachu toys or whatever, but I don't know who he is. He could be a criminal. He could have like dubious intentions or whatever. And it is as simple as that. I buy this online. I send a transaction. You look at the transaction, where it's coming from, and you can see, my holdings. And I already gave you my shipping address. So that puts me in a very dangerous place. And more if you live in a third world country like Mexico, where it could be the mafia or whatever. So at a corporate level, being public is the way to go. But at an individual level, being public is not the way to go. So Tornado Cash, what does is like a blockchain VPN that you send your Ethereum transaction to Tornado Cash. Once it arrives to Tornado Cash, it hides your transaction between a lot of other transactions. This is called a transaction mixer. And then it sends your funds to a new wallet. So when you send the funds to the new wallet, people will not know that this is you because the transaction cannot be linked to the older transaction. So this is amazing. This is exactly where we have to be now to protect individual users. So the problem is that like 3 months ago, we had a hack on a blockchain called Harmony One. I don't know if you've heard of this blockchain.
Yes, I have.
Okay, so Harmony One had they had I think some funds on a protocol called Wormhole. That Wormhole was like a protocol that helped you bridge assets between blockchains and make it interoperable. And Wormhole got hacked and they lost like $100 million worth of Harmony One coins. And apparently this person used Tornado Cash, and they hit the transactions, and now the money is clean. So the government, the US government, the European government heard about this, and they went after Tornado Cash. And it seems like the people behind the hack were North Korean hackers. So now, the developer of Tornado Cash, one of the developers got arrested, and he's behind bars. So this is ridiculous because he didn't do anything wrong. He created a protocol, he created code, and he's being prosecuted for creating that code. While at the same time, the creators of Celsius, Voyager, Terra, and other other shady stuff that's been going on the cryptocurrency atmosphere, all these people, they're still free. No one's behind the bars, and they made people lose billions of dollars worth of assets, and they're free. But this guy creates a line of code. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't hack anyone. He just was looking for the privacy end of all cryptocurrency users, and he's placed behind bars. So this is an attack on freedom and privacy, because this user didn't do anything wrong. He just created a tool to help people make their transactions private, and the US government and the European government does not like this. And like I said, this is an attack on our freedom, and this is an attack on our privacy. And all cryptocurrency users, all cryptocurrency people, crypto Twitter, everyone right now is super upset. And I feel like 2023 is going to be a year of massive regulation. Oh, and I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you, there's more to the story. So even if you didn't do anything wrong, if you interacted with Tornado Cash just by accepting the contract, even if you didn't send any funds, you were blacklisted by the FBI. So all the people that interacted with Tornado Cash are now blacklisted by the FBI and by USDC. So it means that even if you didn't do anything wrong, you no longer can use your funds. Your funds are frozen. And if you're in the US or close to the US, it is very likely that the FBI is going to come knocking at your door. So one of the people that interacted with Tornado Cash had a lot of money, and what he did? He started sending Ethereum to all the major wallets that hold cryptocurrency. So he started selling Ethereum to the whales. He started sending Ethereum. I don't know if you know, but now it is possible to buy Ethereum domains, and some famous people like, I think, Jack Nicholson and LeBron James and whatever, they have their own domains. So he started sending the blacklisted Ethereum to all these people. So now all these people are blacklisted as well. So this guy is a
That's
hero.
Brilliant. That's
brilliant. So he was trying to point out how ridiculous this is, how a lot of people that didn't do anything wrong got affected by the fact that the FBI blacklisted everyone who interacted with Tornado Cash. So this hero, he sent Ethereum to a lot of people, and now we have a massive global debate on privacy and user rights and what's right or wrong. So I feel like these coming months and the next year, we're going to be talking a lot about crypto regulation, what's right and wrong. And this Tornado Cash issue is going to set the tone for what's going to happen next.
Yeah, as much as this is a horrible story, right? And you don't want to hear these sorts of things. This is, like what I like to call a pivotal moment, like a spark that really starts to create a increase in these kinds of conversations, because this is just absurd, and it's absurd that we're even talking about this, especially when the entities that are perpetrating this are the FBI and the US government. Because, you know, I saw a meme the other day that said something like, um, we are now living in the country that our founding fathers ran away from. And
Yeah,
it couldn't be more true. But it's not just within the United States, it's now becoming more and more throughout the world. We're starting to see more and more of this, and I totally agree with you. That's why when we created Meta One, we created it within an international jurisdiction that's not part of any country, that is not a subject to regulation in the United States or the FBI's jurisdiction or purview or anything like that. Because these organizations are corrupt. They're corrupt
yeah,
beyond belief, and they want the opposite of what the founding basic principles of human life are supposed to be focused on. You should be able to have your freedom and have your privacy, and that doesn't mean that you're a criminal. Now, do I think that it's okay that criminal activity is being perpetrated using privacy tools? No, of course not. But that doesn't mean that you take everybody's right to privacy and freedom away, or that you just start randomly blacklisting people. I mean, being on an FBI blacklist, your life is over. You can't do anything. You
yeah,
can't get on an airplane. You can't buy a train ticket. You can't buy a bus ticket. You can't buy anything pretty much. You can't go anywhere. You can't get a job, nothing. And to literally, because like, even for people, I mean, imagine, I was trying to think, because I've used a couple of those things. I was trying to think back in my head, man, did I
yeah,
sign up
yeah,
for
yeah,
Tornado Cash? Not that I would care, but it's like, man, that sucks. That sucks for somebody who, just randomly thought they were going to use it one day and didn't use it. And then, a few months later, they find out they're on an FBI blacklist. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
That's
And
how
people,
it
like,
happened.
I'm so glad. And anybody who's listening to this, please go research this story more. Please go understand what's going on, because we all need to stand up right now for freedom and privacy. It's the most important thing we can do. Next week,
Absolutely.
I'm going to talk more about the executive order that Biden signed in March that is basically mandating the Treasury to create a CBDC. And the CBDC is scary, and
Yeah,
it is not okay, and it is to the point where you are exactly right, Fernando, that they will be able to track every transaction you ever make with the CBDC. They will be able to know exactly where you are, exactly what you're doing. They'll be able to stop you from buying certain things. It's nuts. And I think it's important to talk about, because people don't realize the difference between a CBDC and decentralized crypto. They're two totally different things.
yeah,
And is this kind of stuff that we need to be talking about today, and we need to be focused on, because if we don't, we're gonna blink our eyes, and there isn't going to be any more privacy or freedom left on this planet.
absolutely.
What a nuts story. Oh my gosh.
It's
We'll make sure to put a link in the description, in the show notes, to that story, so everybody can check it out. And yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's wow.
crazy times ahead.
I'm
Hopefully,
blown away
freedom
by that.
and abundance is gonna win over, all this wrongdoing from our governments and all these people with dubious intentions. But
Yep.
I feel like we have a final battle against the elite to happen. Maybe we'll find peace. Maybe we'll find a way to coexist. Maybe we'll go to war. I mean, we can see that not just in crypto, but the tension in the planet overall is super high. We have wars in Ukraine, wars in China,
Right.
wars in the Middle East. So there's an old saying, it's always darkest
Darkest
before
before
the
the
dawn.
dawn.
So
Yeah.
that maybe that's what we're seeing. Who knows? Who knows if things are gonna get better or they're gonna get worse. I'm very hopeful that eventually we're gonna see the best in humanity, and that we're gonna triumph over evil and all these bad doing
Yes,
people.
we absolutely are. And we already have. And we just all need to come together. And I totally agree with you because at the end of the day, you know, I've done a lot of traveling, I've been to a lot of different places. At the end of the day, every human being on this planet, all they want is freedom, privacy, love, a roof over their head, some food to eat, the people around them that they care about. That's what everybody wants.
Yeah,
And we have to remember that 98% of the population is like this, and the other 2% are the ones who are pulling the strings and are manipulating the media and are manipulating the governments and are doing things like taking down Tornado Cash. And we're way more powerful than they are, and we just have to come together, you know, and we just have to listen to each other and not listen to them.
absolutely. I agree with what you said that 98% of the people we just want the same, you know,
Yeah.
we've been through the world, we've met people and we all want the same. It's just these 2% players that you know have different values and have all the power that they're dividing us and they're making us fight each other and you know hate other countries and all that. When
Yep.
in the end we all really like each other. I mean, we're all here to have fun,
Yeah.
and we can't because these people with bad intentions, they're just making us fight against each other so they can keep the power.
Yeah, well, we're not going to let them stop us. And yeah, I think that's a perfect note to end on. It's been a great session this week. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Check out the Tornado Cash commercial, and we'll see. I think it's going to be an interesting fall. There's a lot of stuff going on. Like you said, the markets are not as easily to predict with also a recession happening, which is deepening and deepening. And we'll talk about that more next week. But Fernando, any final words?
No, I mean that's all. I just want to make an emphasis on what you were saying. You know that almost all of us, if not all of us, we just want the same. You know, we want the roof over our head, we want love, we want freedom, we want abundance.
Yep.
And you know, if we start fighting for this, if we come together, if we do not let these people divide us, I'm very confident we can make it happen because we all want the same. We all are here to experience the same thing, which is joy and you know harmony and all that good stuff. And we cannot let these few bad apples to make us turn away from all this good stuff. So just
Yeah,
wanted to
man.
say that. And
Absolutely. Amen to that. Yes. Let's make the
amen.
world a better place together. That's what we have to do.
Yeah. And that's all I want
Awesome.
to say.
Cool, man. Oh, thank you so much, Fernando. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Later.